We officially have our first list of teams that have been eliminated from the 2025 Global Champions League Super Cup. That also means that we officially have our GCL Super Cup semi-final lineup. All of that information to come in a few moments' time in what can only be described as a very, very dramatic opening night here in Prague. A very dramatic GCL Super Cup quarter-final. Because not only have the defending champions been knocked out in the very first round, but you have a team in New York Empire, powered by Lugano, that are going home on just 8 penalties. Now, to give you perspective, 3 riders per team and a score of 8, which does not even allow each rider to have a fence down. They are going home on 8 penalties. That is heartbreaking. Madrid Emotion survive on 8 only by time, and the Istanbul Warriors find themselves on 8 as well. We will have the leading team in the studio in a few moments' time, but for now, let's show you the results and remind you as to how things officially ended on the opening night of the GC playoffs here in Prague, as the lineup for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals has now been decided. Rome Gladiators, powered by Cavalleria Toscana. What a performance from them, and what a surprise from Emanuele Guardiano, Yuri Mansour and Peder Fredriksson, who qualify in style for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals. The Prague Lions, a result that was written in the stars for the home team to go on and finish as the second best team on a triple clear. The Saint-Tropez Pirates on 4, alongside Basel Cosmopolitans and the Scandinavian Vikings. And then comes some of the tense times. To the Rome Gladiators, come on in. Come on into the chairs, gents. Come on in. Come on in. Peder Fredriksson is joining us. Emanuele Guardiano joining us as well as we show the lineup. Madrid Emotion survive only on time. New York Empire, the Monaco Comets, Mexico Amigos and the Stockholm Hearts now grayed out as they fall out of the GCL Super Cup quarterfinals. It means that they will play no further part in this week's competition. But the night belongs to the Rome Gladiators and the Prague Lions. That is a sensational story as well. We're joined in studio by 2 of the Rome Gladiators. Peder Fredriksson, I start with you. You have been here many times before. Talk to me about the statement that this makes for the Rome Gladiators going forward.
Yeah, we're very happy. You know, our main goal was to qualify, but a win is a win.
A win is a win, and that was sensational. Emanuele, talk to me about Esteban. That was a big performance. First man out, you have to set the tone. How were you feeling tonight when you came out?
Well, I think Esteban is in a great form. He did very good the last 2 shows before I came here, and today he jumped great again. Hopefully the next 2 days here.
Peder, we talked a lot about Vroom de la Pomme over this season when you came in. So calm, so easy to close the team. Talk to me about that round. How was it for you?
Yeah, I saw Gaudiano. He made a great round. I was very happy and impressed by the way he was riding and the way the horse was jumping. And then Yuri came in, also did a good round. We were thinking a bit about the time, and we were thinking maybe going inside to number 3, but since they were clear and looked pretty fast, I thought I'll go around. And Vroom did a great job today, jumped really well, and I'm very happy with him.
Where were the big challenges today? Because I know 5C in particular went down a lot.
Yeah.
No one having a fence down. How is it? Was it a team conversation, how to tackle that combination at 5? Because it looked very smooth from Rome Gladiators. What was the talk in the course walk?
We didn't talk, but we had we could see a few before we went, so we knew that fence was a bit difficult because the horse had to stretch for the oxer, and then they landed a bit steep, and that was a bit difficult for them to regain the balance. So it was important just to sit up and give the horse a bit of room and balance to see.
Okay, well, these are some of the rounds, by the way, of the Rome Gladiators that have jumped so superbly today. They go on to become the leading team. They essentially win the GCL Super Cup quarter-final and put themselves in their best position ahead of tomorrow's GCL Super Cup semi-final that will welcome back the top 4 teams from the championship season. Emanuele, has there been conversation about tomorrow? I know it's very early. Has there been plans throughout the weekend? Or is Rome Gladiators taking this one night at a time?
Yes, I think we have to do just what we did today, and everything will be good.
Yeah, that's it. Peder, what does this do for for the emotion tomorrow? Because every night gets bigger, every night gets tougher. You sent out a real statement here. What do you think the team conversation will be ahead of the semi-final tomorrow?
I think the main thing is to see what horses we're taking. I think you're going to keep the same horse. I probably change to Al Capone for tomorrow. And Yuri, I think he will ride the same tomorrow as he did today.
Okay, so no rider change up for tomorrow, just the horse changes.
Yeah, just one horse change.
What was the conversation like coming into the week, Peter? Are you able to share with us what was being talked about?
I think we had a great team spirit, and you know, everything can happen in this format. It's very exciting when you have three riders. All three riders count. So you know, it's very exciting to ride, exciting to watch. But we said, you know, we go in with a positive attitude and we take day by day.
I believe Yuri Mansour has just walked in. Hey, Yuri, are you going to come join me this side? You are more than welcome. That's all right. We've just been chatting to your teammates. They are very positive and very happy with how the evening has gone. Give me your thoughts. How did that go for you today? It looked fantastic.
Yeah, since the parade, we were in such a good energy, you know, and yeah, we could feel that something good was coming. And yeah, like Peter just said, it's such an exciting format. Everything can happen, and yeah, we did a good start.
Not only, Yuri, do you do a good start, but you do it with 0 fences going down. I mean, this is as fantastic as Rome Gladiators could be. As the man that's in the middle, what is the job of the rider in the middle? Because you have Emanuele comes out, he jumps clear. You know you have this man at the back. What is the most important thing for that rider in the middle?
Yeah, actually, when you have this caliber of riders, you know, make your life also easier. You know that you can count on them, and
they will say the same about you as well, huh?
But yeah, make all difference, you know. And yeah, I think we had a plan from the beginning. Me and Peter, we spoke a lot a few weeks ago, and we risked a bit in this format. And yeah, but yeah, the way he rode it inspired me a lot. You know, Gaudiano was really fighting, you know, and then it's always easier.
I'm glad you said that. So you were talking quite a lot a few weeks ago. Who wants to tell us what was being said? What was in those conversations?
We said, you know, if we're going to make it really good.
Yeah.
You know, we want to take this serious and really come with a good plan and a good management and do our best and keep a good spirit and take day by day. And you know, you never know where things are going to end. Absolutely.
Yuri, talk to me about tomorrow. Peter's given us some insight. There'll be some horse changes. What's on your mind for tomorrow?
Yeah, I keep the same horse. I think he's for sure the greenest one. But actually, he always jumped better the second day, and the way he jumped today make me believe that it's going to be again a good day for him.
Okay, well, powered by Cavalleria Toscana, the Rome Gladiators go on to win the GCL Super Cup quarter-final, and they will be the last of tonight's teams to go as they rejoin the top 4 from the championship season. Big news coming out of tonight is not just the fact that Rome Gladiators go on to win the GCL Super Cup quarter-final, but the defending champions, the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, have crashed out on the very first night. Let's hear from Nicola Philipparts.
Nicola, you win and you learn. Last year you won the GCL Super Cup. In 2025 it's been a learning curve. How do you respond to a really difficult night?
I think we've been struggling a bit all year round. I think with horsepower and this and that. I think it was unfortunate. We tried to do our best, but it was not our day today.
One positive spin, the form of Caroline Riehoff Pedersen on debut. She seemed to go nicely. Yes, had a couple down, but in terms of development for the team, how important is that?
Yeah, I think for sure she's had a good season. She helped the team out a lot. She did a lot of great rounds for sure. We're coming here in Prague. It's the playoffs. It's one of the biggest shows of the year, and it's for sure it's difficult. But I think she had a great experience, and it will help a lot.
Commiserations tonight, but well ridden this season.
Thank you. I mean, that's how it is in our sport. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but I was happy to be here again.
It feels like a very unlikely storyline that the defending champions crash out on the very first night. It has been a dramatic GCL Super Cup quarter-final, to say the least. Let's go up to our commentary boxes. We have Ed and James standing by. Ed, talk about storylines. Defending champions crash out. Rome Gladiators win on the night. A team gets eliminated on 8, which feels criminal. Give me your thoughts on what has been a very entertaining opening night of the GC Prague playoffs.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, we've had outstanding sport and we are all simply shocked to lose the defending champion Stockholm Hearts. They bow out of the quarterfinals amazingly. We also lose another big team, New York Empire, James Fisher. We lose Monaco Comets. We say goodbye to Mexico Amigos. We saw drama. Only 2 teams with a clear round. We lose 2 outstanding teams tonight.
You're right. I mean, New York Empire, we looked at, we thought they're strong. They're not going to struggle. And it just shows that they didn't make much of a mistake. And it comes down to time. And it was a little bit cruel in a way, but, you know, Prague Lions lost to go. I mean, it's a fantastic performance. And you can't beat a fantastic performance. And little mistakes are costly. And
you would never have thought on paper Scott Prash, Michael Pender, Dennis Lynch could exit. It seems an impossibility that we've seen realised tonight. That is how exciting this format is.
I think we sort of watched them, and especially Scott, the anchor man, he was clear. And Mikey Pender is so reliable, and so is Dennis, especially on Cordial, and just silly little mistakes, but added together, a little bit of time, and they're out. And they'll be looking at that thinking, how did that happen? And
again, a stunning loss to the defending champions. Also, we say farewell to Stockholm Hearts. It's, again, unbelievable.
Yeah, because I suppose they were earlier in the competition. You sort of watch it and you think, will they, won't they? And, you know, as it boiled down to it, almost the rounds got better and better. There was a moment probably in the competition where we saw a lot of faults, and then it got better again. And whether or not the draw, you know, the way the final standings are, maybe that has an effect. But that's what happened tonight, and we saw some big teams go out.
Yeah, at the other end of the spectrum, we've seen Rome Gladiators. They've had a difficult year. They were outstanding, the first 0 score. And then the home team to knock New York Empire out, Prague Lions, performed brilliantly.
I thought so. I mean, they had nerves of steel. I mean, they look rock solid. I mean, it was a really good performance. We saw earlier today Alice Opatoni win that class in style. It's been fantastic for the home crowd to be last to go and to do the performance like that. I mean, it was amazing for this audience in here, and it just shows you what atmosphere there is. You don't get this atmosphere anywhere else.
Well, thank you, James. It's been a pleasure commentating with you. An outstanding night, Mark. We're just underway here in the GC Prague playoffs, and it's been a brilliant night.
Right, Ed Holloway, James Fisher, thank you very much. We spoke about redemption today. That is an ongoing theme in the GCL Super Cup quarterfinals, and Ed has nailed that right on the head. For a team like the Rome Gladiators, who have struggled in 2025, to win tonight's GCL Super Cup quarterfinal, to put their name in the hat as a potential outsider, all of a sudden, that redemption storyline starts to come to fruition. The big story, as he said as well, is the fact that Prague Lions, the home team, fantastic here for the thousands that have come out to the O2 Arena, jump a triple clear and guarantee their spot in the next round, guarantee their appearance here tomorrow night. And we want to see them go as long and as deep into this competition as possible, because they will make the energy inside the O2 Arena at maximum capacity every single night. The Basel Cosmopolitans qualify for the GCL Super Cup semi-final. Andreas Skau with a fence down, and then back-to-back clears from Marlon Zanatelli and Rodrigo Almeida. Superb finish to the Basel Cosmopolitans. Let's hear from the Portuguese rider Rodrigo Almeida.
Rodrigo, talk about a dream debut. In at the last moment for Basel Cosmopolitans for Jana Vargas. You go clear and you help your team into a GCL Super Cup semi-final. Just give us some version of a summary of your emotions.
Yeah, it was an unexpected coming, of course, especially after coming from the World Cup in Stuttgart. And yeah, it was the first appearance from Caronia in a global tour. So I'm very delighted to help the team to catch this result today and to go in tomorrow's semi-final with such a great feeling.
I spoke to your coach, Dennis, just after you jumped. He was glowing with praise for how you went about your business. What's the build-in been like for you, with it being such a short build-up?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very strong connection, me and Dennis, and I can rely 100% on him, so that makes things easier for me. He knows very good my mare, he knows very good myself, so I think we make a perfect match together.
To watch Andreas go so well but have one down, to watch Marlon go clear and then have to go to seal the semi-final spot for Basel Cosmopolitans, what was going through your mind as you watched Marlon go clear?
Yeah, I really tried to take it away off my head, but of course the pressure was on. I knew I need to perform well because, yeah, in this level with the biggest riders in the world and best horses in the world, we have to go clear, especially in this kind of show. So I have to say I felt the pressure, but I make it once again.
Rodrigo, a dream debut for Basel Cosmopolitans. Well ridden.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this opportunity.
Not only was he a super late call-up, not only is he jumping on a young 10-year-old horse, but Rodrigo Almeida goes on to jump a clear that seals an appearance in the GCL Super Cup semi-finals for the Basel Cosmopolitans. To get some closing thoughts from Dan Strange in the studio. Do you want to talk about Prague Lions, the home team jumping triple clear? You want to talk about a surprise win of the round for the Rome Gladiators? You want to talk about a surprise shock crash out for New York Empire? You want to talk about the score line that sees them crash out? Pick a storyline and tell me what stands out for you, Dan Strange, in a wild night of show jumping at the O2 Arena.
I'm just looking at my notes in front of me, and it is like I have splodged
chicken scratch on the paper.
On a page. There were some fabulous rounds tonight. Coronia L, we just heard from Rodrigo there. Sensational. His coach was delighted. But there are other ones as well. Jonker van ter Veldhoven of Willem Vermeer. 4 faults, yes. So 4 faults of 8 for Doha Falcons. But that horse had only ever jumped 1m45 before. Okay, so to come into this arena, 1m60 and do the job. When you look at the likes of Cocktail de Talma and Neil Fearon, going first for Scandinavian Vikings, setting a tone in team jumping is so important. No drop scores here. As you said, Prague Lions, Niels Brunsils was hilarious because it was a packed kiss and cry. Right? Anna Kalnarova was on there, everyone was on there. Niels Brunsils is hid behind the kiss and cry. He's cheering, he's doing everything he can, but he could not watch.
Can we talk about the fact that the New York Empire, powered by Lugano Diamonds team, does not make it into the semi-finals?
Yep.
With the lineup of Dennis Lynch, Michael Pender and Scott Brash. That's the first point. The second point is that they don't make it into the semi-finals, Dan, on a score of 8. At a 1m60 class, as challenging as this, you are not even allowed a fence per rider. That is how tight and how little room for error there is. It talks about where we are. It talks about the difficulty of where we are. But it feels criminal to say goodbye to a team like New York Empire on 8 penalties. How brutal is the requirements of a GCL Super Cup? That tells us the story, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. When you read those names, as you said, Pender, Lynch and Brash, and they've gone out, they've gone home, as it were.
After Scott Brash jumps clear.
After Scott Brash.
And both other men only have a fence down. That's it.
And yes, exactly. And with Scott Brash, you know Scott will always go quick because Hello Jefferson and he's got Hello Shadora Lady here as well are quick horses. They've also, one of the themes this week in conversation with David Honnett, his groom, and Scott himself, his horses are fresh here. They're fresh in this arena. We've seen it with quite a lot of the horses. But you look at the likes of Cordial. Has come back in. Dennis's daughter has sort of nursed Cordial back to fighting fitness. 1 down, and that horse is out of a GCL Super Cup semi-final, as you say. Severe quality in New York Empire. We predicted in the pre-show that one of the bigger teams might crash out, or like Madrid did 2 years ago. It happened.
Yeah. It is a brutal sport at times. Let's give you the big headlines of the night here from the O2 Arena in Prague. There are teams that are eliminated. Let's remind you of that for now, because these are the teams that will play no further part in the upcoming weekend as we say goodbye to the Stockholm Hearts, the defending champions, the winners of the GC playoffs in 2024. There in the bottom of your screen in grey, Mexico Amigos out on 24, the Stockholm Hearts out on 28, the Monaco Comets powered by the Iron Dames out on 12, and as we pointed out, New York Empire eliminated on just 8 penalties. That is who goes home. The teams above them, Rome Gladiators, win on the night. The Prague Lions jump a triple clear to finish in second place. And the other big exciting news is the fact that tomorrow for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals, we welcome back the top 4 teams from the championship season. As winners, Falcons Route United, champions of 2025, now make their way in to the GCL Super Cup semi-finals. We welcome back the Kun Stars. We welcome back Razorback International. And we welcome welcome back the Shanghai Swans. Thank you. I had to get my way through that. Those 4 teams now come back and are joined by the GCL Super Cup quarter-final winners of the Rome Gladiators, who throw their name into the hat. We welcome those teams into the GCL Super Cup semi-finals tomorrow night. But there have been statements that have been made by the Rome Gladiators, by the Prague Lions. There have been statements that have been made as well, dare I say, from Saint-Tropez Pirates and the Basel Cosmopolitans. You want to close? Thoughts, Stan?
I was just going to say, there have been statements made by the teams that hit form at the back end of the season. Doha Falcons podiumed in Rome. Scandinavian Vikings got themselves out of trouble. Rome Gladiators hadn't podiumed. They were the last team to podium, and they've won here. And then you throw in the top form. Falcons Vard champions, Can Stars, who have jumped brilliantly at the back end of the season, and of course Shanghai Swans got in the top 3, and Riesenbeck found their way into the top 4. It's about the teams that have hit form at the back end of the season that we're now seeing perform here at the GC Prague playoffs.
The major headlines on night 1 of the GCL Super Cup quarterfinals. Defending champions now crash out and will play no further part in the GCL Super Cup. The Rome Gladiators go on to win on the night, and all of a sudden the top 4 teams get ready to return for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals tomorrow. A dramatic, fantastic night here in Prague at the O2 Arena, and this is just the start of this entire week long here in the city of Prague. It is only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. For Dan Strange, I'm Mark Lewis. Thank you for joining us on the opening night of the GC Prague playoffs. We'll see you tomorrow for the GCL Super Cup semi-finals. Ooh, it's going to be a big night. Come and join us at the O2 Arena here in Prague.